I want to welcome ALA and MED to Cass Tech High School. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Jean Russell, the Executive Director of Cass Schools, the nonprofit. And we were created so that high school students would have options, by which we meant you could choose between college and career, or you could choose both. We wanted you to have technical and soft skills that you would be successful in the top paying jobs in San Antonio, and you would be ready to go to those jobs immediately when you left high school. So this week is National Apprenticeship Week, and that's why you're here. We want to focus on an option. How many of you are familiar already with the concept of apprenticeships? Sort of, yeah? We want you guys to leave with a deeper understanding of what apprenticeships are, sometimes called learn while you earn. These are places where you can get a job and also participate in education or training, and as you advance in that, your pay increases. So it's a guarantee of continued higher earnings. Some apprenticeships, like Cass Tech, who's not here, sends a lot of students into the Texas A apprenticeship, which eventually earns them a 2-year degree, an associate's from a community college. Others, like the 2 that we are offering this year at CAST for our graduates, will be partnered with online training and certifications, so you wouldn't go necessarily to college. And the work that we're doing here at CAST has gotten national attention. We won a National Catalyze Challenge grant to do this work with y'all. And today we're also going to announce the support of a local foundation, 80/20, who has been working with us literally since we came up with the idea of Cass Tech, but who's really heavily interested in this strategy. And so what I want you all to take away today is that apprenticeships are an opportunity literally for you right now, today, if this is something you want to do after high school, but they're also an opportunity for you later. So we're super excited that we have the City of San Antonio here who runs the Ready to Work program, and we partner very closely with them. So if at some point down the road you all decide you want to stop a college path, or you're in a job that you feel like isn't giving you an opportunity for advancement, through our alumni network, we can help you get into an apprenticeship. So I want you to just tuck that away as if that is something that at some point in your life is interesting you. We are here to help you connect with that. So I'm going to hand off this mic to this panel of employers who are actually doing apprenticeships so you can hear more about it. But before I do that, I'd like to welcome my good friend Alexander Pride, who's the Executive Director of 80/20 and a huge supporter of our work, to share more about why they are investing in this strategy. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much, and I'll be quick because they have much better things to say than I do. But the foundation, we're really focused on making sure that you all graduate with the skills and the certifications that you guys need and the experience, so you guys can go right into industry. College is always a great option, but making sure that you guys have options, that's really important. Especially if you can go into industry and in a quality job too, right? We want to make sure that you're getting paid well, and if you can go into industry right away, work for a couple years. Oftentimes the employer will fund your college, after that, and you'll kind of be already a step ahead of your peers. I went to college for a finance degree. Still have loads of student loan debt, and I met my employer through while I was waiting tables during that period of time in my life. And so while it was great to have this wonderful degree that I'm still paying thousands of dollars on, it has nothing to do with the job that I have. It's just really the network that I built for myself and the people that I surrounded myself with, and just doing a quality job at what I did. And so just giving you guys options. Jean can give my information. I'd love to talk to anybody that wants to talk and help you guys throughout navigating it, because I'm sure it's scary. My parents definitely pushed college on me, and now as times are changing, looking back now, it probably wasn't the best for somebody like me who didn't quite know what I wanted to do yet. So yeah, I'll let these wonderful people speak now.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tennille Collins. I work with the City of San Antonio's Apprenticeship Building America program. We're going to take just a few minutes to let our panelists introduce themselves before we dive into the questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Athari Desai. I'm with Accenture Federal Services.
Hi, my name is Deja Arsenault, and I'm with the YWCA.
Hello, my name is Joshua Scott, and I'm with the City of San Antonio's Workforce Development Office handling apprenticeships.
Hello, I'm Blythe Zemmel. I'm with Girl with Grit and Texas Women in Trades.
Hello everybody, my name is Jose Muniz and I'm with NPower.
Thank you, everyone. So since Jose, you have the mic, if you don't mind, we'll start with you. Can you give us an example of, let's find a good one for you.
Hit it with the heart.
How about this one? So can you explain how a high school internship or apprenticeship program supports your organization's long-term talent strategy?
Yeah, good question. So at NPower, what we are is we are a nonprofit and we help individuals like you, young adults who are coming out of high school who may not have an idea of where to go post-secondary. We offer free training, tech training. So we'll pay for some of the certifications that you can get through CompTIA. I know some of y'all here at Tech are going through training like user experience, user design, help desk support and things like that. So we help with those certifications because in today's job market, although having a bachelor's degree or an associate's is great, a lot of employers are looking for those industry recognized certifications. And those are expensive. Sometimes those certs can cost up to $350 and it's a pass or fail type of situation. Not, hey, you made a 75, that's passing. You miss it by one question and it's fail, you gotta pay another $350 to take that exam. So that's why we come and do panels like this. So that way we can help you find a pathway. Again, college may not be, you may not have a clear pathway to college. I didn't. I joined the military, they paid for my college. So that's how I was able to go through that. But kind of looking at y'all's situation, you're getting ready to graduate next month, a couple of weeks. So being able to kind of look at your options and see what that is. And then we partner up with various employers such as the City of San Antonio or with Accenture, with Autry, and things like that.
Thank you, Jose. Can we move on to Josh next? So Josh, would you mind explaining the structure of an apprenticeship program and how it differs from a traditional education or on-the-job training?
So basically what that is, so the structure of an apprenticeship program is structured in a way that you will be earning and learning. And what that means is that you are a full-time W-2 employee. So the gap year is gone. So you are actually an employee. And so while you're working, it's structured to the T to where you're doing your it's called a work process schedule. So you're doing all of that, making sure that you check mark all those boxes to ensure that you have the competencies that the employer wanted. So the employer is the one that developed that for you. And so you're assigned a mentor. And so those are the things that make it different because you are working and learning. And then while you're working, you actually are going to school as well to be able to enhance that. So an employer says, okay, this is what we want you to learn. The instruction that you'll be learning is customized to that particular employee. And so that's the difference between an internship and an apprenticeship. So an internship, you mainly doing an internship that may be non-paid. And so, but an apprenticeship is paid. It is vetted by the DOL, federal DOL program. So it has standards and it check marks all the boxes to be able to run with that.
Thank you. And can we move on to Black next? So my question for you is, can you explain what type of job opportunities will be available to someone after they complete your apprenticeship program?
Okay, well that's a good question. The great thing about apprenticeship is that you can move on and grow through your job. So what we like to show is that we really advocate for girls To enter these fields right now, only 4% of women take up the skilled trades. So we go out there and we give girls like those introductory skills, using tools, knowing safety, and understanding that this is a job and a pathway for you too. These jobs, you can get an apprenticeship and you can get to become project manager one day, or you can go to a university and you can become project manager one day. One, you're paid to train, right? You grow that way. The other one, you actually pay, and you wind up with a big student loan. There's all kinds of pathways that you can take in apprenticeship. The ones that we really focus on are the skilled construction trades. We're passionate also about breaking the stigma of those. Like, it's really important for us to have plumbers, okay? In fact, our plumbers might save more lives than our doctors because they're giving us clean water and taking away dirty water. The jobs out there, once you guys complete an apprenticeship, right now there's a labor shortage in our infrastructure jobs. So these are jobs globally. Globally, that means that you guys can move somewhere else and still have job opportunities, okay? So at the end of apprenticeship, you guys can grow to journeyman, you can grow to project managers. There's all kinds of growth that you can do to where you're also basically earning 6 figures at the end, but you don't have student debt, okay?
Thank you. And I too experience that student debt. So
Yes, I do too, guys.
Okay, next, if we can move on to Deja? Yes. Can you give us an example of a successful apprentice that came to you from high school?
So we have not yet had an apprentice come straight from high school, but I will say that our youngest was about 19, and she had never had any prior schooling, never went to college. She came to us and became an apprentice. And then shortly after her apprenticeship was done, she got hired on with one of the departments that she was mostly working with. And thus started her community health worker job.
Thank you. And last but not least, Audrey, can you give us an example of how you would explain how can apprenticeships benefit you as the employer as well as the apprentice themselves?
Yeah, so for us, I think the biggest piece of the apprenticeship, sort of model is that we get to nurture the talent that comes to us, right? So now we get to train you in the ways that we think are meaningful. We get to draw the right attitude and aptitude out of people. We get to show you the type of culture that we have as an organization and bring that out of you as well, right? So really, we are selfishly, we're crafting the talent locally that we want by using the apprenticeship model. But that works both ways, right? So that also gives you perspective on, our organization. Is it the type of place that you can see yourself long-term, right? I always tell the people that I'm interviewing, apprenticeships are a great sort of low commitment way to interview an employer, right? Now you get to spend, our program's 3 months long, you get to spend 3 months with us to see if we're the place that you want to be, right? Are we the type of people that you can see yourself working with every day? Is it the type of culture that you see yourself in, growing and thriving in, right? And it's completely fair to come out of that experience and say, no, it's not, right? But you get to have that experiment, you get to have that sort of exposure and perspective. And I think, looking back on my own career, I didn't have opportunities like that. For me, it was always, I wanted to be a doctor. That was the only thing I ever thought about. Went to college, came out, with loans just like everyone else. Decided really late in the game that I didn't want to be a doctor. I never had an apprenticeship in a medical office or anything like that. Had I, right, I would have known sooner than later that that wasn't the type of environment that I would thrive in. So I think it's really just about that perspective both ways, and then certainly for us, it's nurturing that talent that we think will thrive in our space.
Thank you. Excellent answer. Now, one more question. I'm going to open it up to whomever on the panel wants to address this one. So we're joined by seniors whose pathways include user experience and design, business, engineering and manufacturing, and health and medicine. What apprenticeships will reflect these students' pathways, and can you give them a trajectory to pursue a long-term career in that field? Josh, did you want to take it? Whomever wants to.
Can you repeat the last part? What areas you said?
Yes, so what apprenticeships reflect these students' pathways? And can you give them a trajectory to pursue a long-term career in that field?
Absolutely. So the good thing, so up here we have YWCA, who's actually within the medical field is community health worker, right? And so that is, they are actually looking for individuals once you graduate to come to their door because they do have openings for apprenticeships within that health field. And so the trajectory from there is, I would have to pass that on to her, but there is a trajectory for every field that you go into as an apprentice, right? And so like the trade said, you start as an apprentice, then you work your way up to a journeyman, and then from there you become a master. Within the IT, there's always these stackable credentials that you get while you're an apprentice to be able to jump and go into different levels. The apprentice piece that's the entry point. And so just know that once you're going up in scale, you also are going up within the company. And so that's the thing within an apprenticeship program. You talk about manufacturing. We work with Toyota Tunso. I know Gene talked about, a lot of their cast STEM individuals go into the AMT program, which is the 2-year college at St. Philip's. And so there's pathways for each occupation. And so I know us behind the scenes, the good thing with this panel is that we all work together. And so we're actually working to find different pathways for individuals like yourself so that you can come straight into employment and go on an upward trajectory without having debt. I think that's our collective mission here, is to find these opportunities. We talk about electricians. I know there's a student here in the crowd that is looking to go into electrician. He already said, you know what, I'm going to be an electrician. And so I see him smiling at me, but we have pathways for that. And so there's different pathways within each different industry. And this help creates having more companies come to the table to be able to pull talent. And so that's how we are doing it. Hopefully that answered your question.
Very thorough, thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask you one more, Josh?
Okay.
Okay, you can pass it on.
No.
Tackle this one. How can industry partners collaborate with schools to promote and support apprenticeship programs?
So y'all are familiar with Accenture. So I'm with Accenture Federal Services. So if you kind of think of Accenture as a big kind of parent organization, within that you have almost a child organization. So that would be Accenture Federal. So the only difference is we do the same exact type of work, same mission. We have an amazing girl boss CEO, but for AFS, we partner with the government, right? So all of our projects are for the federal government. We're supplying them all of the things that they need to make their products better and more efficient. And so a couple of years ago, we actually partnered on the AFS side with Sam Houston High School over on the east side in setting up their Cyber P-Tech, right? So that is a program that's focused on cybersecurity. And that was just really having the foresight to know that, look, cybersecurity is going to be a really big thing in this area. Next to Washington, D.C., it's the second largest kind of cyber community, right, in the United States. So just having that collaboration not only helped the school, right, to have our professionals kind of come in there and say, hey, what's the curriculum need to be? What type of work experience can students get? But again, right, it goes back to now AFS is really breeding locally the talent that they knew they were going to need 5 years ago, right? So it's important to have that insight from organizations because hopefully they're going to stay here in San Antonio. Hopefully they're going to be hiring. Every organization needs entry level because without those, you don't get to the higher levels, right? Every organization needs a pyramid. So apprenticeships, those really junior levels, that's the bottom of that pyramid. Without that foundation, there is no growth. And the other thing I will say is we as an employer, we recognize that when we invest in talent early on, there's a loyalty component that you can't touch. So for all of the people that came through our apprenticeship program that have stayed with us and have grown their careers, they feel such a sense of loyalty to AFS for investing in them early, for being the place that they could go and get that experience and get their foot in the door. And I don't think there's any sort of number that you can put on that, right, when you talk about return on investment. So, you know, every organization invests in their people. We want people to stay because when they don't, that's an investment that we just lost, right? And so for us, we're going to invest in you from the start so that you hopefully feel that and you maintain that loyalty to us, stay with us, grow with us, and then hopefully, you know, you're coaching apprentices one day, right? And then the model just feeds itself in good ways.